Nice.
That was nice.
I was really pleased. Can I... Obviously, like...
I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, you can stop recording, but I just want to talk about a little bit about some of the jokes that I put in my first story about Weezer. Oh my God! I think the best joke I've written in a long time for CheckPoint is what. So what better to add to Fortnite? A game that is super popular with the kids than Weezer, a band that's not popular with anyone.
It was so good. It was
savage.
So true.
What a great way to make the dichotomy between the two. That sounded really good.
What is the point of that?
Yeah.
Also referring to the 90s as a decade of wide-leg pants and full-time employment prospects.
Yeah.
If nothing else, doing all this by law and order stuff has really made my economy of words much better.
I forgot to fact check whether Resident Evil 2 came out in the 1990s or not.
I think it might have come out in the 2000s.
It might have. It might have been early 2000s.
I think something in my brain rattled when you read that out, but I was like, I didn't fact check it either. I read your stories and I was like, okay.
Was it 1998?
Oh, you got there.
Oh, just got there. A year after I graduated high school. Nice. Yeah, eat that.
So yeah, we can do all sorts of, here we can show you.
Hold on, I want to bring up Twitch chat.
Cool background things.
Greenpoint.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, actually, when we were experimenting with things, we liked this color so much, we were like, it's a shame that none of our shows actually have green as like one of the colors.
I mean, we could do a podcast where we have green lighting, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we've got a blue lighting podcast and a red lighting vidcast.
And we've got this
show.
And we have the Snowfall one on, we're using Snowfall on North 100, which you guys will be able to see when that goes up later, because that'll have a different effect as well. But yeah.
And then we can also, like, these are various animated things, so we can make our own. And then we can also just make it like different colors.
Yeah.
The Panelist is filmed in Studio C.
Yeah. And Sidewalk Slam will have its own set of colors as well. And obviously none of those are green, but can I address something that I keep seeing on YouTube comments, and I guess I see pop up in chat here as well?
Oh, there's the Sidewalk Slam colors behind me.
Yeah. I know everyone keeps saying a lot, please put Beej in the credits, because I've been on the show now for consistently many weeks. The credits are not an easy thing to change, because we would need to animate all that stuff. And the reason why I'm here is because Graham is devoting himself full-time to work on Road Quest. So you can't put me in the credits right now because I'm technically not part of the show.
Well, also the person who would need to change the credits is working on Road Quest, or like he wouldn't be doing probably the animation. It was Mangled Pixel.
Yeah, but getting the changes made, it's like it doesn't make any sense to do it right now.
Well, here's the deal: in order to revamp the credits, it would take a lot of time and work from Graham and Mangled Pixel, both of whom were working on Road Quest. So it would be sort of like counterproductive. Although I do agree with maybe getting a credit refresh.
Yeah, it's fine because I don't mind it, and I understand that everyone's asking about it, and it's like, you should do this because he deserves it, and it's kind of like, I appreciate that a lot.
You deserve it.
Yeah, but I don't mind. I kind of don't even care. If I was going to be part of the show on like on a much more like a semi-permanent basis for some reason, then we'd be like, yeah, let's put me in the credits. But I'm fine. I'm just filling in. So yeah.
Stop that local recording there, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We recorded
Also,
some stories.
You're not behind the scenes. People can tell you're in the video.
Yeah.
It's not like when I do stuff.
Exactly right. Heather got into the editing, needed to be added to the editing credits, and she got in there. Also, we did make re-records.
I know. I watched while I was trying to solve other problems that I'll have to definitely talk to you about later.
Okay.
Hello.
I'm gonna move in here now.
Oh, careful, careful.
I get to sit on the point.
Careful.
Is there enough?
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the desk.
Hey, everybody.
Which Beej and James made.
Yeah.
Is really nice and is like actually like pointed, so like when you're doing a podcast you can sort of talk to your fellow
you're a little bit
host.
more talking to people.
Yeah, it's
rather
like
than
a chevron shape or something.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. I think it's interestingly enough, the very first CheckPoint desk we had was also a homemade job, but it was not made well.
It was
it was unsturdy.
It was. What was funny about it too is that when I was coming up with ideas for how to make this, one of the things that had occurred to me was, oh, you know what I should, because I can't find a piece of wood that's large enough, I should get a couple of shelves and I should just put them together, and yes, we'll have a big seam down the middle, and it turns out that's how the original CheckPoint desk was made.
Yeah, and part of the reason that it was a little rickety.
Yeah, it's just two big shelf pieces that were like quite wide.
And then we covered the seam between the shelf pieces with a piece of electrician's tape.
Just to cover that off. This was professionally manufactured, the tabletop was, because it was worth paying for something to be custom cut to be the exact dimensions, and I didn't want to risk effing up any laminate.
I think it's still local recording. That file keeps getting bigger when I look at it.
Oh.
I thought I stopped it. Yeah, it has stopped.
What you cannot see on camera, what you will eventually see, is how we put together the rest of the desk, and I'm not going to lift up and show it to you or anything. But you get to
says it's stopped.
you get to see the behind-the-scenes stuff on the on whatever we make up later.
Yeah, I thought we were going to use coasters on that table.
We have coasters; they're sitting right over there.
That's a great place for them.
I need
That way, the top of that
the Cracker Pack box. Yeah,
top
it's very
of
well
those drawers will be protected from nothing.
We should. I'll try to see if I can get some large discs of felt that would fit these, because then that way, when you put them down, they also won't make a sound.
That's
I'm trying
good
to be
idea.
very
Good
cautious.
You'll see. Obviously, we're using the lapel mics here because it's sort of for CheckPoint. We figured it's more kind of a newsy thing, but for the podcast, you'll see in the loading time or in the tap concede, we've got new mics for that sound a lot better, I think.
This is a real desk. It's a very real desk.
I mean, in as much as it exists in real life, like it is, this is not a desk you can buy in a store, but you could certainly get it custom manufactured.
Sorry about the mouse cursor.
Oh, there is no green screen here at all.
No.
What you're seeing behind us is literally what the wall looks like.
Yeah, we've experimented with green screening, sort of full green screen sets.
Yeah.
And having a real set does look better.
Yes.
And stuff. For one thing, Beige couldn't be wearing that T-shirt that he's currently wearing if this was a green screen set.
Absolutely.
But anyway, and also, you wouldn't have the reflections of the lights on the desk.
Yeah, that's true too.
That would be, or at least it would be very difficult. Anyway,
the wood paneling is not wallpaper. That is real wood.
Yeah.
That took James and I an entire day to put up.
It was very impressive. There's much sawdust.
Yeah, it is barn board.
Yeah.
Presumably from real barns.
Yeah, definitely.
I keep imagining that because it's like used wood, right? Like it's like weathered wood, and so I keep imagining that at some point they'll run out.
Oh yeah, they'll run out of barn.
And so what they'll do, what they do is like how there's like managed forests.
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll just like in a field set up a bunch of like barns, and then to like wait, and then like wait like for 5 years or so for them to weather appropriately, and then harvest their barn board.
I have a feeling that these boards are never used in a barn. Mostly because of the fact that there are no screw holes in any of the wood.
Maybe it was a very poorly made barn.
Yes, it's a lean-to.
Just because, hey, what's up? Just because some people are asking, they're like, but why does it look like a green screen? Why do you seem so isolated from the background? That's because of these lights. Watch.
And then we disappear into the TV.
Yeah, we've got like...
Top and backlighting is very important. These lights were here before. It's just that the background sucked.
Do you want to ruin the illusion and just turn the overheads on?
Oh, yeah.
For like a brief second? We're going to get blown out. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Mostly the lights back there get blown out.
Yep.
Artisanal barn board.
I imagine what they probably have is like I think they must treat the wood. Like they must take pieces and then they must cover it in something and be like, great, now go in the oven, and it just kind of rots and erodes the wood, but then it dries it to a point where it's like no more rot. Also, it smells wonderful in here. You have no idea. Oh God, I love being around cut wood, and this is just going to smell like this the entire time.
Anyway,
yeah, if you want some of these cool lights, they're nano leafs.
Mm-hmm.
We just bought them.
Yeah.
Like we bought a lot of them.
Yes.
Do we have leftovers?
Nanoleaf?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's all of them.
We were
That's
thinking of
all
getting
30.
more even.
Yeah, you might not be able to see all 30 on screen, but that's okay.
I thought we had 29.
We bought 2 15 packs, I believe.
Oh, they come in 15 packs, so it's 30.
They come in a 9-pack, and then when you buy the 15 or the 30, they give you 3.
Point X 9-packs?
They basically say, oh, you want a 15, so then here's your 9, and then here is 2 3-packs.
Huh.
Or 6 3-packs or 8 3-packs or whatever is how they do it.
That's very unique.
It's definitely a way to keep the amount of SKUs down. You can just say, you want to buy 30? Yeah, here comes a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah.
All right, so yeah.
I don't know, some people might assume that we like forged them ourselves or something like
Yeah.
that. They're like $500 for 30, says VM Kid.
Yeah,
Probably. They're not super cheap.
They're one of these things that, technically speaking, they're not that complicated. Like, they're basically just like a diffuser with LEDs in it, right?
Yeah.
But they're just really slick. You could DIY something that would kind of get the same idea.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But it would be a fair amount of work, and it's you wouldn't. These are just very well made and sort of interesting to use and stuff.
Yeah.
They have sort of, they auto configure too, like they know how they're attached to each other.
Yeah, we had that mess up at one point actually. One of them of them lost complete connection, and you ended up
I don't know who my friends are.
Yeah, and a bunch of lights
My brothers
stayed on, and they responded to us telling them to do things, but they wouldn't show up in the map. So if we wanted to assign colors, we couldn't assign colors to most of them. We ended up having to factory reset them and then reconfigure them in a different way. We think it might have just been the connector that goes between the two, but
There's actually, and there's a whole like, I like when we were looking at info about these. Most lighting companies don't have a developer forum associated with them, because there's a whole like API to like mess with the lights. If you've got one of those like the Stream Decks, things,
Elgato's,
there's built-in stuff to to like set. I know there's actually a few streamers who are like, that's one of the things that that they're being pushed with.
Yeah,
is that you can have auto controls,
and it's got a REST API, so you can write like a REST application for it, write something in JSON, and just be like, we could get to a point where we could come into the room, you could load up the CheckPoint project, and the lights would just change immediately.
Yeah, you could just look at it as a very, very low resolution LCD display.
Yep.
Somebody, the Maricat said for how to make your own barn wood for those who don't have Lur's Bank.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that requires like being able to leave your wood outside to weather.
Yeah.
Also,
we don't have nobody has a yard.
Also, the barn board is like the cheapest part of this entire setup.
Oh yeah, the barn board is not expensive.
Yeah, holy crap.
That's not the part, if you're trying to save money, that's not the part that's going to save you a bunch of money, by the way. Anyway, let's talk about stories. As you said, there'll be a loading time coming out in the next little while that has all sorts of details about the setup and stuff. So yeah, the stories that we talked about were the Weezer story,
Weezer Island,
which was essentially an excuse for some excellent Weezer burns.
Yep.
I mean, I've never been particularly attached to Weezer. They were not formative to me.
Okay.
I understand. When did their big album come out? 92?
95.
95?
94, 95. Pretty sure, because Buddy Holly was included on the Windows 95 CD.
Right.
That's how I learned about Weezer.
Okay.
That's the only song of theirs that I know.
Being not that I was not that I didn't listen to music, but I think that Weezer may have peaked in terms of critical and like sociological relevancy a little bit early for me, because I don't remember my friends listening to them either.
Yeah, that might be.
I kind of I dug that one. Was it Pork and Beans? The like recent song or from like the last album, I think.
Oh, okay. I hear everyone goes on about like
it was like a super meme song.
People are like, "Oh, Pinkerton's really good," and I'm like,
"Is it?
I don't know. Is it?" I've also heard people say Pinkerton's really bad, and I'm like, "Hey, here's the thing about music. I don't."
Yeah, I mean,
some people say it's good, and some people say it's bad.
It's all subjective. Anyhow, the Pork and Beans was like 2008.
Sure was. Africa was their newest hit.
Their last album.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't their new album just like all covers of things?
Is it?
No, that was their Okay, so Weezer don't name their albums. They just have like, they're named after like sort of the predominant color on the album. So the famous one is the Blue Album, and then the covers album was the Teal Album, and then their new album they put out is the Black Album, which is a name that's already taken by Metallica, and that album rules. So anyhow, hey, they've only failed to name 6 of 13 albums.
That's a lot of albums. Good for them.
See, I just don't know that much about Weezer. Apparently, they do name some of their albums. Apparently, one of them is called Ratitude, which I think tells you all you need to know about men in their they're probably in their
late 40s.
Mid to late 40s.
Yeah.
Anyway, other than that, the idea, just the article that I was reading about this concert or this thing, it's interesting from an actual like, apart from the Weezer part, just the actual the idea that this would be included in Fortnite is very odd.
Yeah, they made a playground.
But kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The whole article, there's a really interesting Ars Technica breakdown, sort of gets into more detail on the Second Life angle. But yeah, like Fortnite, because it's got the creative mode stuff, just seems to be doubling down on, not only is this a battle royale, but this could just be a hangout space for teenagers to fart around with their friends in a relatively safe, enclosed environment, right? They can build, race their avatars around, but like...
I mean, the creative mode is a comparatively recent addition even to Fortnite.
Well, because it's taking stuff from Save the World and putting it back into Fortnite, right?
Because previously they had a bunch of cool, weird stuff you could do in it, but you could only do it in the Battle Royale thing, so you'd be like, I'm doing this cool thing, I'm playing mini golf, and then somebody just come and gank you.
I mean, yeah.
Because it's still a Battle Royale game.
If you can hang out with your friends and also shoot each other, I feel like that's something that teenagers are really into.
Yeah, Corvus says Fortnite seems to be really trying to get back to the game they wanted to make all along before they got popular after stealing PUBG's idea.
That would be pretty funny.
PUBG's idea. Did you see the new freaking ping system in Fortnite? That's basically the Apex ping system.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's
everyone said that one was really good. So
yeah. But that's what you do, I guess, right? When somebody makes something that's really good, it's like, well, that's better than what we got. Let's rip that shit off, and
that seems to be the Fortnite strategy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the idea that they'll eventually mess around with Fortnite, the Fortnite Battle Royale games so much that it just becomes the Save the World thing again.
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, this game Fortnite is really great. And they're like, yeah, we know.
We know the whole time.
So I was reading an article about, I guess this is going to expand the scope, but I was reading an article about Fortnite a while ago. And the position they took in the article was that Tim Sweeney, who runs Epic, what he wants to do is he wants to create the Snow Crash metaverse. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, where he's got their rad avatars and runs around.
Yeah,
they're sort of. I mean, it was sort of like Second Life or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
And that's been his thing. Is that for years he's been like, I want to create this, and he's like, someone's going to do that, and if we don't get there first, someone else is going to get there first. Probably Facebook is going to get there before us, and they're going to monetize the shit out of it and make it such a closed garden that no one will be able to do anything else. And his position is that I want to make it, and I want to make it completely open so you can do anything you want. And so the thing behind it, when I read that, I'm kind of like, okay, you're making Fortnite as a way to grab all these kids and pull them all into being in this area. You're going to expand it out and expand it out, and then at some point, you're going to make it like have API access or something else, people can start putting more and more shit onto the Fortnite thing, kind of like people do with like running Minecraft servers and stuff. And I think that's his idea, is he wants to get to a point where it's like anybody can hang out and do whatever they want, very like Ready Player One style, but we'll make it an open system, we'll make it run on like Unreal Engine, but we'll make it an open system that anyone can glom onto. I'm like, well, you got the first part down, right? You're building towards that. But that last part about, and then we'll open it up so anybody can make money off it, I'm like, I do wonder about that. Would you be so altruistic? But we'll see.
Knows? Yeah.
We got to sit, and then, but it made me respect him more that his like is like, I want to make it like that, and I want to make it open for anybody. I'm like, okay, then I want to hold you to that.
I mean, that sounds fun.
It's like, that sounds cool. It doesn't sound like it should really have anything to do with Fortnite.
No, it doesn't. But it's got to start somewhere, maybe, right?
All right, what else we got going on here?
One of their masters at Tencent think about this idea. They'd probably also love to beat Facebook to that prize. And honestly, I'd rather they beat Facebook to that prize because I think Facebook is a very bad,
well, and Tencent being
company.
so massive, maybe that to them it's like, if we can hook in all sorts of shopping and all sorts of everything else, you know, I can see why they would say we'd want to do it. So anyway.
There's the Grand Theft Auto hacking, or not hack, but sort of exploit, I guess.
It's a fun little story.
Yeah.
As got pointed out in the article, and we were talking about earlier, is that this bug probably existed for years and maybe didn't get exploited by a lot of people or ever, and then just became a thing. And it just was kind of funny that it's like, oh yeah, use this, and they actually fixed the bug, and then people figured out how to do it again without this not in the same way. And then Rockstar's response was, okay, locating a plane no longer takes money, so you can't get refunded, so you can't make money.
That's like a galaxy brain move.
It's not actually fixing the bug.
It's like infinite refunds.
Yeah.
How about we just make it free so you don't get any refunds?
Which will be now everybody will summon planes, and there'll be thousands of people flying planes all over GTA, and it'll turn into some sort of Sky Pirate thing.
Ooh, maybe it'll turn into like some sort of very robust
Aeronautics simulator?
Yeah.
Yeah. People will be racing planes.
And like people just setting up to RP like air traffic controllers.
Yeah!
I'm just imagining all this like scenes from like, you know, Star Wars or like the Jetsons or whatever, where we always have the like, or even like Fifth Element, you know, where you have like the basically traffic, but flying.
Yeah, and it's like, well, that wouldn't be hard to coordinate. Holy shit.
Anyhow, what else did we talk about?
We also talked about that you can put Thomas the Tank Engine in Resident Evil, which I mean, I know there was definitely some push for the guys to do it in Let's Know, because they've been playing Resident Evil 2 on Let's Know.
Yeah.
I think technically they finished Resident Evil 2 now on Let's Know, so they're on to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're I feel like this is in the same realm as the there's mods for like Skyrim that replace the dragons with Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I've made this a little more irritating, but that's fine.
Just the idea of like replacing this big guy who's chasing after you, not with another big guy who's chasing after you, but with a train.
Yeah.
Which is like completely different shape and everything. Is fairly impressive.
Yeah. I do kind of wish it was full size though. It's just the train comes right through the wall. It's like, oh, that actually is very scary.
You
yes.
died.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and Anthem has some major problems. It's not that it has a lot of major problems. It's just that it's strikingly similar to Destiny. They including many of the mistakes that Destiny made.
Yeah, the consensus I've seen from a lot of people is that it's fine, but in the current meta of, you know, those kind of games, fine isn't enough to convince anybody to leave whatever game they're currently playing to switch to it.
Yeah, right. Like in the current meta of those games, you've got Destiny 2, which is really finding its footing. Like they just announced like 2 new game modes are coming to it and stuff. And because I don't actually play, I can't comment on it. Like everybody seems to be excited about it. Okay, the Division 2 is coming out, and early reports from that beta, if you are playing in Europe or the Antipodes,
Cute.
was that it is quite good and fixes a lot of the problems that the original Division had. And like at this point, if you're launching a new game into that space, you can't, excuse me, be making mistakes that people made like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Just the idea that apparently that the way the loot system launched was that like the upgrades to a gun were completely randomly generated.
Like nobody saw that?
Like it's like, didn't they think that it was a dumb idea to make it so that you get a sniper rifle with +10 pistol damage on it? Like
Maybe there's
it seems like that was a dumb idea.
yeah. Maybe there's lore reasons. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they're fixing that. I don't even play the game, but I'm just glad to hear that's like, oh, good, you're doing something to make the game make more internal sense. So that's all right.
And the coming up was that THQ Nordic did a very, 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 very stupid thing. And I don't know how it ever got past somebody at the company not being like, maybe I should look this site up because I've never heard of it, and then realizing it's essentially ungoogleable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, wait, it's been delisted from search engines? Why?
Yeah, maybe, if you don't know what a site is about, maybe do a quick Google search before you agree to do an AMA on it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
It's real simple.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you're a PR person.
the thing I saw was that the person who helped set it up, because they said in one point, they're like, oh, shout out to Mark for this like upcoming AMA that they were doing like in an hour or whatever. And they said shout out to Mark, and people were like speculating like, I think I know which Mark this is, and this Mark is kind of notorious for being about like being this kind of person, and it's like, yeah, we just trust in that this guy's going to put us into into places going to surf or whatever.
Like,
the more insidious thing is, what if they knew? And
Oh, they have to have known.
It's,
Right?
I think it was. I mean, I think what it was is that they wanted to, like, they knew that it was a
controversial
thing, but maybe not the extent of what it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is a tough line. If you want to be sort of edgy with your brand,
Yeah.
that is a tough line to.
The site that thinks 4chan's moderation policies are too harsh.
Yeah.
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 Because
Anyway.
you can't post literal illegal pornography.
Yeah. I mean, I guess encourage everybody out there to like look at what they did and look at what they said, and then take your own stance accordingly. Let's not talk about that anymore.
Yeah, but like we said, we had a little like internal discussion on the we were talking about on the like checkpoint and in Slack. We're just like, not only do they do this, but they do this on a Tuesday. We can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Assholes, they knew. They knew when we broadcast.
Just to screw us.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want to learn more about that whole thing, there's various hot takes from Jim Sterling and other
Literally everybody.
gaming news luminaries that were more at the time. So you can check that out. All right, other stuff.
Oh yeah, this was not included in our reports, but new Pokemon's coming out. It's Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield.
Yeah.
If you look at the map, it looks very suspiciously like somebody took it looks like the United Kingdom from the point of view of Scotland.
Yep.
So there's been a lot of great fan art going on around about the heroine wearing a tam and just downing whiskey.
Yeah. To be clear, there is absolutely no evidence that it has anything to do with
The UK.
the UK.
No, not at all.
It's just roughly the shape. The world is kind of the same sort of shape.
It has like similar layout ideas, right?
But just people are very excited about the idea that maybe it could have some relationship to the UK.
Iron Brew, she's a minor. Yeah, it's Scottish Twitter X Pokemon. Pokemon Let's Glasgow.
That's real good.
I had to sort of warp the pronunciation to make that joke really land.
You also have to forget about Ireland.
Yeah. Don't worry, they generally do.
It is 100. But I'm super excited, and but also the design of the area looks sort of like vaguely inspired by the British Isles, and like that sort of like delightful Japanese take on like what England and Europe might look like is sort of very the same aesthetic that's in Professor Layton.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to go to there. Like, that's not a real place, but if it was a real place, I want to go there. I live in Ireland.
The city in the north is heavily based on London. Big Ben and the Millennium Eye are included. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so...
Oh, I didn't hear about that. But the last I heard was that basically all we had was that map, and people were just going off on it.
Oh, and also in fun news, because there's 3 starters, but there's 2 names, somebody was like, wow, Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, and then faked up fairly convincing art for Pokemon Gun.
Yeah.
Which then got printed in a couple newspapers.
The Spanish newspaper
Awkward.
printed that as their, like, that would be the 3rd one. It's like, oh well.
Although, to be fair, there are actually, there are a few Pokemon that are basically guns, aren't there?
Was there one?
There's Pokemon that have guns.
There's been at least one, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Yeah.
And it's certainly cannons and things.
Anyhow, well, that's not... what else did we not talk about this week?
So,
Yeah.
Plague Inc.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is a game. It's a game that's been around for a long time, where you are a disease attempting to spread yourself across the world in various. You can like mute. You like every turn. You can do different things. You can use. You like mutate yourself. It's sort of the opposite of pandemic.
Yeah.
And they're introducing a new buff.
Yeah.
Anti-vaxxers.
Anti-vaxxers. Which, in the context of the game, because you are the disease, are something that helps you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, hooray!
There's a story. And I also like the commentary from the developers where they're like, we're working on how to integrate them into the game because we realize that if it becomes too if the whole anti-vax sort of buff is too prominent, then the game will become too easy.
Right.
In the sense that it'll become too easy for the virus to spread everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's apparently somebody did a change.org petition, and to add anti-vaxxers to it, and they were like, you know what? If 10,000 people sign this, sure, we'll look at it.
Why wouldn't we? Yeah.
And I think it's at currently 20,000 signatures or whatever, and so all right, I guess we do it.
We'll figure this out mechanically.
Which marks one of the only times a change.org petition actually did anything.
Yeah.
So good for you guys.
I like Milk and Bag's sentiment of anti-vaxxers, also known as plague enthusiasts.
Wow, apparently people are giving it negative reviews on Steam.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
These people get,
It's like,
I don't know, the mumps?
It's literally what you're asking for is don't use vaccines to keep this thing down. It's like you're literally asking for this. This is what happens. You're literally asking for this. Anyway.
Yeah, because even if there were side effects to the vaccine, from the perspective of the plague, it doesn't care.
No. Just give a shit.
Anyway. There's various silly things happening in the Skyrim mod making community, which is a very robust community.
Still.
People are making, and so there's one of the more popular Skyrim mods is called Skyrim Together, which you may guess is a online Skyrim. So the idea that you can play Skyrim together.
Okay.
Which currently has a very, very popular, their Patreon is something like $33,000 a month or something. So, they don't sell the mod, but through donations and stuff, they've been quite successful. And apparently this is an ongoing thing, it's in whatever early alpha now.
Yeah.
But there's been some consternation because apparently they're integrating a bunch of, or they have used, and there's some question about whether they've removed the code, but they have used some code from another mod developer.
Yeah.
in a way that they are not happy with. To the extent that for the Skyrim script extender mod team has changed their like terms of their like copyright thing to be like, you can use this unless you're these people, and which you can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
We literally forbid them from using it. What I thought was funny too was further down in the conversation they were having, where the person from Skyrim Together was saying like, okay, I need to address this. You know, yes, there was some code that we used at one time, except we've pulled all the code out, and there's probably some leftover code in there we haven't gotten rid of, and like all these kind of things. And somebody from the Skyrim script extender team said, okay, so let's break this down, like just point by point. And they're like, so you used our code, asked for permission, didn't get permission, continued using the code, said you pulled all of it out, didn't actually pull all of it out. Like, they kind of like broke down this guy's paragraph point by point, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta kind of hand it to you, dude. That yeah, if you're noticing that your stuff is in there, and I'm as an advocate of free and open source software, definitely the whole thing of like, if you use this code and it's under this license, and you use it in your application when you're not supposed to, then you know that is a problem. You see people stealing shit like that all the time, where it's kind of like, I don't want people to use this in a commercial application to make money off of it. If you want them to do that, there are licenses for that. These guys don't want that, and so.
I mean, I believe part of the consternation is that you know, as a mod and various things, these things are released under pretty permissive
licenses.
Yeah. But anyway, plus the other thing is that the makers of this code that are getting annoyed with this are also concerned that because these guys are, you know, getting so much money from their Patreon and stuff, that they're going to sort of attract the attention of Bethesda in the sense that it's, even though technically they're giving it away, it starts to seem like a commercial production at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, of course, there's the additional silliness of the fact that this is a multiplayer Skyrim mod, and a lot of the criticism around Fallout 76 is that it's basically using the same engine as
Elder Scrolls Online?
as Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Online uses a completely different engine.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which again has been it was like not really made by Bethesda, from what I understand.
Okay.
So a lot of the consternation, I find that an amusing idea that there's this mod that is basically doing the same thing as Fallout 76 is trying to do, but just sort of from the community.
Like,
and in the Skyrim engine as opposed to in the Fallout engine.
Bringing all the great multiplayer Fallout 76 to Skyrim.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That's really cool.
There's a couple other things. There's a new AAA Star Wars game that's going to be announced at Celebration Chicago in April. As we know, the last AAA Star Wars game, which was being developed in Vancouver, got canceled. And so there are no AAA Star Wars games slated, and sort of the last one was sort of the mildly disastrous. We are getting all the good stuff behind an extra additional paywall Battlefront.
Yeah, which, by the way, Games of Chance, the topic this week is Star Wars games. Presumably not this game that hasn't been announced yet.
I hope you get Ewoks.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
It is published by EA, presumably, since they still have the license for it.
Okay.
There's this other this other really cool story. So Warframe, which is it's a space combat thing. It's been going for many years, and very popular MMO kind of style thing. And they've implemented a new system for basically for what are like
your weekly quests.
Yeah, the weeklies or the dailies. You know, the things where basically the end game stuff. Like after you've done all the like story stuff, a lot of these games have just like the quest this week is get 100 of these things or kill this guy or whatever.
Go get some mech asses or whatever.
The space bear asses.
Yeah.
Instead of they're doing that, but to sort of make it a little more exciting and interesting, instead of just like you log into the game and there's like a thing that says what your quests are, they start a new radio. There's like a radio station in the game that you can tune into from your spaceship.
Okay.
Where there's the DJ person. There's this whole like storyline basically that gets told to you through this radio station, that will be an ongoing story.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
About different things that are happening in the universe.
Yeah.
Kind of like in some ways, kind of like Three Dog in the full Fallout games.
Oh yeah.
Sort of talking about things that are happening in the universe. Except as part of that, they also tell you about what the current quests are. So they'll be like, hey, if somebody could deal with this, that would be great. And then you get reputation with the radio stuff and things. So it is basically just these dailies or weeklies, but they're trying to put it in a more interesting way.
Yeah.
And building it in as part of an actual storyline.
The file clerk says, oh, so the show from Cowboy Bebop. Yes, it is just like Big Shot, where you're being told, hey, here's some stuff that's going on. Or if you want to think of Radio Free Mars, that they did as that one album they did. But yeah, that's a really cool idea. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, this is Warframe, by the way, if people are asking. I think. Oh yeah, let's all pour one out, except don't, because this is a new table. But for the Vita, officially end of life today.
Yep.
Or this week. Mm-hmm. The last 2 SKUs of actual Sony hasn't produced any Vita games in a while.
No.
But the last 2 actual SKUs for the production of the consoles have now been officially discontinued. And there's doesn't seem to be any any indication that Sony is interested in continuing that particular area. I guess they basically said that you might as well just have a phone at this point.
Yeah, and that's fair. It's I looked at that story and I was like, oh, I kind of want to just write a story just shitting all over this from the Nintendo fans' perspective, and was like, no, that's not fair.
That's rude.
Well, it is in a little way too, but it was kind of like I could really just revel in the snark of this thing that never was quite as good as it needed to be. The problem is that Heather owns a Vita, and talks to me a lot.
They're great.
And she talks to me a lot about the things that were available on it and stuff that came out of Japan and the amount of interest that there was in the very small, the niche developer market. And it's yeah, the Switch is filling that role for them now. Mm-hmm. The Vita's not really necessary in that respect. So I can see why it's we're just going to EOL this thing. But, for a while, that was where a lot of weird game development would also be happening. Not just there, but also there. And
yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, in some ways it filled a lot of the role of the Switch, in the sense that it was a mobile device that was quite substantially more powerful than any other mobile devices at the time.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. The Vita might have just been a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I thought it was a great system.
Or just and the Switch has the killer thing of being able to use it as the on your actual TV.
Well, and there was the Vita
Exactly.
TV, which was an accessory you could get to play your Vita on a TV, right?
We have, or Heather has ones that she uses sometimes, but they never really they put that out, but they never really supported it properly.
And they had to whitelist a whole bunch of games for it, and it was some games just won't work on here, and it's that sucks.
Yeah.
For what is a niche gaming console that's a sub console of another console, it's you decide to limit this thing as much as you did. That's horseshit.
Also, of course, they made it use memory sticks for memory.
Yep.
Because Sony was still trying to push that at that point.
Kind of won't miss it. So
Sony, the Vita was a great system. I think hampered by some poor choices. Hey, can I put out an announcement? If you play Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and you share. There's a garden, and there's gardening events going on, and there's 2 waves of bugs. There's first wave bugs and second wave bugs. And the game tells you what kind of bugs people want. And if you share first wave bugs when you can see that they don't want it, you're a monster. And I will unfriend you.
I can't, there's nothing wrong with anything that you just said.
It's commonly known.
As another player.
Among the community, you don't fucking do that.
That's rude. They've given you a way to not do that anymore.
Yeah, I check. I never share first wave bugs with people if they're not collecting them.
Yeah, which means I never share first wave bugs.
Oh, we got a raid from Ben.
By that point, it doesn't really matter.
Whoa, Julie Mon says, thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah, I feel like that came from a place of real pain.
That was me just blocking somebody who
if
shared first wave bugs with me.
If CheckPoint can help just some people, then it's all been worthwhile.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We're healers.
You want some bugs, Beach?
I will, yes.
I will do
There's so
that.
many first wave bugs that you could have.
I don't want any more goddamn first wave bugs. I know why people are getting them or sharing them is so that they can get the flowers that go along with sharing them, but it's like,
No,
stop
that's
that.
why you keep players who don't play the game anymore in your friends list. You can fill up their
Yeah.
freaking. It's
Anyway.
Dump your garbage bugs on somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah, dump some garbage bugs on people who don't give a crap. What else do we want to talk about?
The final story I have here, which is, again, we were talking about Fallout 76. They're adding a new kind of workbench, which is, in fact, a distillery.
Well, I mentioned this a little bit last week about all the new stuff
yeah,
that
that stuff was
coming
coming in,
to Fallout 76.
Yeah. So you'll be able to, in the brewing station, you'll be able to make all sorts of different spirits of different types. The more once you make it, you can either drink it right away, in which case you'll have what's called the fresh effect, which is usually something bad for you and also good for you. Like you do extra fire damage, but you also take fire damage or whatever.
Okay.
Or if you wait for a little while, you can have the vintage effect, which is just the good part, basically. That's like my favorite. I forget. I think it was like in a movie or something when somebody like drinks some wine and they're like, "This tastes fresh."
Oh no! You see that cartoon going around? It's like a new cartoon launched by a cartoonist. It's sort of like explaining human traditions from an alien perspective, and it's just like, we brought you our oldest beverage, and they're like, and then it's like aliens doing like, this tastes delicious, not fresh at all.
So yeah, I think
Strange Planet, Astra 7525. Oh, Mangled Pixel says, ooh, that is a nice set. So glad to see everybody enjoying the new set. There is a loading time coming out very soon, sort of detailing the build and development of this set, if there were any trials and/or tribulations that went into its construction.
Yep, and there may be some minor tweaks and stuff that we still do.
Yeah.
That we still want to do, changing some colors or various things like that. But we're pretty happy with how it turned out.
We did that already with TTC. We recorded TTC and then we looked at our lighting setup and like we can make that a little bit different, maybe a little bit better.
Well, we'll figure it out. But for now, the subs.
On with the sub-B part. Wait. Starting with
Hey, good.
the Woogly. Thank you for subscribing for 38 months.
And thank you to Mini Whack, who's been here 45 months. Welcome back.
Hey, it's Generic Evil Genius, who's been here for 58 months.
Underhill 33 for 30 months. Soon it'll all line up.
And I Am Clockwork was here for 58 months and continues along.
Hey, Simon 40 Russell is a brand new subscriber. Welcome.
Jovinius Maximus is a new subscriber.
I don't think they are. I recognize that
I see
username.
name.
This whole Twitch subscribers won't lose their streak anymore.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to have planned out the way that it should have. I'm definitely seeing new subscriber notifications for people who have anyway.
Yeah. Blue Mechanic has been here for 57 months. That's a lot of months.
The Lord Crusher for 47 months. That is also a lot of months.
No.
Nova Tiempo is a new subscriber, which I don't think is entirely true either.
Oh my goodness, it's not who you think 17, who's been here for 24 months. That's 2 years of being mildly unsettled.
Euripides for 51 months.
Inky Glast has been here for 28 months. Welcome back.
Hey, Nova Temp 2. 6 months.
Nice. Eliru Aaron. Eliru Aaron for 40 months.
3D Dot Nikki Wolf has been here for 48 months.
4 years.
Ooh.
Buckminst, 19 months.
Buckminster Fuller's friends call them. Hey, Buckminst.
It's awkward.
A catastrophic success for 16 months.
And a big welcome back to STGTS for 30 whole months.
Hey, but what rolls decay? Rolls German, I think. Whatever months.
Party God for 23 months.
Explorer 785 for 22 months. Welcome back.
Hey, Agent Winter. You've been here for 1 year. Good job.
Bronze Finger for 62 months.
Wow. Still sounds like a James Bond villain.
Bronze.
Definitely.
Yeah. Aslan121 is a new subscriber. Welcome to the channel, but I think it's a welcome back.
Bronze Finger's been around for long enough that they were there for the original Kathleen sub commercials before they scaled out of reasonableness, and every month it was me going, Bronze Finger, just doing a really bad Shirley Bassey impression. But let's talk about Jockle Hop 1234, who's a brand new subscriber.
Illmaster Shogun, or I'll Master Shogun. Someday I'll master Shogun. 14 months.
W. Livy, back for the 62nd month. Glad to see you again.
The Lame Name Game has been being lame for 37 months.
Sprite Clad.
Take two, here we go.
Spritey Clad for 11 months.
Inquisitor Jian for 44 months. Welcome back. I still think it's Christian.
Saucemaster 5000. 10 months.
Sounds like an excellent appliance.
The Saucemaster.
Gold Heartache 56 for 15 months.
Aioli's in while you wait.
The Face of Cho is a new subscriber. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you.
Hey, Hungry Hamst. 6 months.
S.J. Calden for 7 months. Thank you very much.
And
Arcalide for 57 months. Getting close to that 60 as well. Welcome back.
ooh, Miku Risa for 6 months. Thank you.
Shalakitty.
It's a hard K. Scala.
Oh, I was like, I did do a hard
I
K.
know, right?
Kitty. It's a hard CH.
Yeah, it's a hard CH.
Shalakitty for 51 months.
Steel City Exile for 2 years.
Two,
God,
4
couldn't
months.
get that 2 out.
I am amethyst. Amethyst. A Methodist.
I am amethyst.
19 months.
And the ghost with the most for the new subscriber. Welcome.
Elder Atropos for 54 months. Welcome back. Oh, that's a multiple 9.
Apparently we're dropping some frames.
Yeah, well.
Omni Squirrel, or Oni Squirrel. Not the Omni Squirrel, just one, just an Oni Squirrel. 36 months.
The other Trevor. It's a new subscriber.
Christ. Kinslayer 6788 for 22 months. Welcome back.
Hey, Reeser6, also a brand new subscriber.
Deste for 14 months.
Right, Roy Eltham, back for the 25th month. Glad to have you back.
What about Bodie McBoatface Jr., who's a new subscriber and an old joke? I think some of these are not new subscribers.
Yeah.
Apparently it's Twitch Prime.
Overlord Stoll for 49 months.
Torvendi for 28 months.
What about Cassie13, who's been here for 26 months? Hot on Torvendi's heels. Only 2 months behind.
Chili.
Chili?
Maybe just chili.
Maybe just chili.
Wow.
Thank you for 13 months.
Decaped for 39 months, a multiple of 13.
Cranberry juice. Thank you. All we give praise to cranberry juice.
Juice.
For 4 months.
Maybe it's jus like game.
Dashiel for 48 months, those 4 years.
Azidburn95, back for those 16 months, another perfect square.
Hey, Goblin Ranger, 23 months, more coffee.
The Bearded Padre for no months because they're a new subscriber.
Yay!
Oh, good. Well, let's thank the Maricat for giving THQ Nordic our name and also maybe exposing them to some decent PR and journalism.
THQ Nordic desperately trying to get that PR back.
Yep.
Oh, all that goodwill flushed into the 8chan shaped hole. Cetarox, a brand new subscriber, thank you so much.
Shh, dragon.
Where?
Shh. You're a new subscriber.
Synth Strike, back for the 3rd month. Glad to keep coming back.
And Ginrin got Ginrin? Ginirin.
Maybe the G's silent.
Nyrin.
Ooh, that's good too. I like that. That sounds pretty good.
And that
Thank you
for some months.
Yeah.
For the 1,000 bits from Lord Crusher, Kazman 20A, Pharaohbender 27, 2 men in a horse costume, and Xanatos 69.
I just want to say, we don't do sub messages, but Nyrin's thing is when picking out the name, I chose something that native English speakers could pronounce without difficulty.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry we're fools.
That's so good.
Next
Is it
time.
Celtic?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess try harder.
Yeah, I guess. Jesus.
Thank you very much for your subscription. We apologize that we have lowered your expectations in terms of
native English speakers.
what is possible to pronounce for a native English speaker.
Yeah, please do not ever underestimate the laziness that comes from being dominant in the global language hegemony, I guess.
Yeah, we're only Canadian.
I don't know how to pronounce literally anybody's names. Oh, apparently it's Icelandic for the wildebeest. How do you pronounce it? It's probably not Nyrin then.
Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned for Dice Friends. Which,
Yes!
it's going to be on the D&D channel.
And this channel. But
And it'll be hosted here, but that will be starting at 5 o'clock.
5 p.m. Sorry, I don't know why I'm suddenly so tired.
It'll be starting at 5 p.m. For By Law and Order Episode 8.
8 of 10. 3 episodes
so
remain.
close.
They've got 7 signatures, so I think you can figure out how mathematically that's going to be going.
Maybe.
But they're
But do they
finally
have
getting close.
the secret 12th signature?
They're 12.
That's
You
right.
knew she worked 11 into the plot, but
Yeah.
there's 12. Like the
secret-
apostles.
The secret 12th signature. That's
No,
so
Ra-
secret you have to already have gotten the 11th
Ravnik
signature.
is not a religious
You're
place.
going to work in some of the cons?
No.
No?
That's not the same.
How about the Neherin?
No.
No? Not
No,
that
there's
even?
the I did make a reference to the Nephilim, which were the bad
Nephilim, that's it.
The Nephilim, which were the bad guys of the original one of the like legendary monster sets of like old gods of
They're
Ravnica.
like 4 color, aren't they?
They were 4-color. It was Witchmaw Nephilim Poker. It was on a community announcement.
Cute.
People keep trying to push using the Nephilim names for 4 colors of magic
Yeah.
rather than just like Damp Mardu.
Yeah, I like
Damp
Mardu.
Damp Mardu's funnier though.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and we will see all y'all later.
They can't see us now.